So, what if you could completely unlock your full potential, not by, overhauling your entire life, but just by changing the first hour of your day? Well, that's the big promise behind Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning. And honestly, it all kicks off with a story that is so wild, it's almost hard to believe.
And no, that is not a metaphor. When he was just 20 years old, Hal Elrod was hit head-on by a drunk driver going over 110 kilometers an hour. His heart literally stopped. He was clinically dead for 6 whole minutes. This wasn't just a bump in the road, it was rock bottom, a moment that would change, well, everything.
But believe it or not, that wasn't the only crisis he'd face. After this incredible fight back from the brink of death, he got knocked down all over again in 2008 during the financial crisis. He lost his business, his money, and fell into a really deep depression. It was these two life-shattering events that really forged his entire philosophy.
Okay, so let's just dig into that first crisis for a second. This was so much more than an accident. It was a complete dismantling of his entire life. And the physical toll, it was just catastrophic.
I mean, the contrast here is just staggering. You have doctors telling him he is never going to walk again, he has permanent brain damage, 11 broken bones, and yet he didn't just recover. He fought back to become one of his company's top salesmen. He somehow learned how to take what should have been an endpoint and turn it into this incredibly powerful turning point.
So you might be wondering, okay, how does this really extreme story connect to the rest of us? Well, that second crisis, the financial collapse, it forced him to face a problem that he argues affects almost every single one of us, what he calls the mediocrity trap. And it all boils down to this one number, 95%. His whole argument is that 95% of us, we just settle. We settle for less than we actually want, and we never really reach our full potential. We just kind of accept a life of mediocrity.
And look, this isn't just a feeling he had. He points to some pretty sobering data to back this up. According to the Social Security Administration, if you look at 100 people after a 40-year career, only 5%, that's those top 2 slices, are financially independent. Meanwhile, a staggering 54% are flat-out broke and dependent on others. This is the 95% trap, playing out in the real world.
And, it's not just about the money. The sense of just getting by seeps into every part of our lives, our health, our relationships, our jobs, our mental well-being. This isn't some far-off problem. For a lot of people, it's the daily reality.
So there he is, right in the middle of this mediocrity trap. He's in debt, he's depressed, he was completely desperate. But it was right there, at his lowest point, that he had this single moment of clarity, an epiphany that would change absolutely everything. Now, Hal hated running, but, he was out of options. So he went. And while he was running, he was listening to a personal development audio. And that's when he heard something that just stopped him dead in his tracks. The speaker on the audio asked this really simple question. Think about it. We all want that level 10 success, right? The level 10 health, level 10 happiness. But what level of effort are we actually putting into our own development? For Hal, and probably for most of us, the answer was maybe a 2, a 3 at best. And then came the answer from the legendary speaker, Jim Rohn. It hit Hal like a lightning bolt. If you want to change your outer world, your finances, your job, your happiness, you have to start by changing your inner world. You have to become a level 10 person to create a level 10 life. It's that simple. So, naturally, his next question was, okay, how do I do that? He went home and basically brainstormed a list of all the most powerful, most effective personal development practices he had ever heard of. And what came out of it was this simple, powerful morning routine he called the Life Azers. The whole idea was to stack these 6 powerhouse habits into the very first hour of the day, to create this unstoppable ritual for personal growth before the chaos of the day, before the rest of the world even wakes up. He organized it all into this really easy-to-remember acronym, SAVERS. So S is for silence. This is purposeful quiet time, like meditation, just to clear your head and reduce stress. A is for affirmations, basically programming your subconscious mind with the beliefs you need to succeed. V is for visualization, where you mentally rehearse achieving your goals, making them feel real. E is for exercise, even just a few minutes to get the blood pumping and boost your energy. R is for reading, taking in new ideas from experts, and that final S is for scribing, or journaling, to get your thoughts out and track your progress.
But here's the real magic. It's not about any one of these things. It's how they work together. The silence calms your mind so the affirmations sink in. The exercise sharpens your focus for reading. Each step builds on the last, creating this powerful synergy that just kickstarts your day on every level, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But the biggest objection, the first thing everyone always says, is the same. An entire hour? Who on earth has time for that? Well, Hal had a pretty brilliant answer for this.
And this is the question that stops most people before they even start. We're all busy. Life is demanding, I get it. But the real beauty of the system is just how flexible it is. It's not really about the duration. It's about the dedication.
His solution is what he calls the 6-minute miracle. It's so simple, 1 minute for each of the SAVERs. Can you find 6 minutes in your morning? Yeah, of course you can. This completely removes the excuse of not having enough time and makes the whole system accessible to literally anyone.
Just think about how most mornings feel. You're rushed, you're reactive, you're stressed out. You're basically fighting the clock from the second your eyes open. The Miracle Morning just completely flips that script. It helps you create a start to the day that's purposeful, energized, focused, and clear. At the end of the day, the way you start your morning really does influence the quality of your entire day, which then influences the quality of your entire life. So the question isn't really whether you have the time, it's how will you choose to design your day, starting tomorrow.